The Hollow Ward, the mist of Artelt, in the highlands of Artelt, where fog clings to the hills like a lover's breath. The abandoned St. Marie Hospital stood as a relic of forgotten promises. Built in the 1930s by French colonists, its Art Deco facade had once gleamed under the sun, a beacon of modern medicine in Vietnam's misty retreat. By 2025, it was a husk, its walls crumbling, windows shattered, and corridors choked with vines. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, not out of reverence, but fear. They said the hospital never truly emptied. At night, the wind carried whispers, the wail of an infant, the shuffle of footsteps, the rustle of a blouse moving through the dark. No one went near after sundown. Not since the videos surfaced online, a shaky phone recording from 2023, capturing a fleeting shadow in a white coat darting past a rusted gurney. The uploader vanished days later, their account scrubbed from the internet. But the rumors persisted. The hospital's maternity ward, sealed since the 1970s, was alive with something that wasn't human, and the cold, sterile heart of its operating theater held secrets no one dared unearth. The invitation, Dr. Nguyen Minh Tho, a neurosurgeon from Hanoi, had no patience for ghost stories. At 38, she'd carved a career out of precision and logic, her hands steady enough to thread a needle through a spinal nerve. When the email arrived in her inbox, an anonymous invitation to investigate irregularities at St. Marie Hospital, she dismissed it as a prank. The sender claimed to be a former colleague of Dr. Levon, a surgeon who'd disappeared in RLT in Ijoju, leaving behind only a cryptic note. The ward sees what we cannot. Attached was a grainy scan of a patient file, dated 1974, detailing a cesarean section in room 13 of the maternity ward. The mother's name was redacted, but the child's outcome was marked: stillborn, body unrecovered. Tho's curiosity gnawed at her. Had been her mentor in medical school, a brilliant man whose sudden absence had haunted her. Against her better judgment, she booked a flight to Artlet. She told herself it was to debunk the myths, to lay her mentor's ghost to rest. But as her plane descended through the fog, she felt a chill that had nothing to do with the mountain air. She wasn't alone. The email had reached others. Tern Quang Vien, a skeptical journalist chasing a career-defining scoop. La Mai Lin, a paranormal investigator with a YouTube channel and a knack for sensing what others couldn't. And PHM Nam, a retired police officer who deworked S case and never shaken the feeling he'd missed something crucial. They met at a dimly lit cafe on the edge of Arthet, their faces tense with unspoken questions. None admitted to sending the email. None could explain why they'd come. The Hollow Ward. The hospital loomed at the end of a dirt road, its silhouette jagged against the moonlit fog. The group entered through a shattered side door, their flashlights cutting through the gloom. The air was thick with mildew and something sharper, antiseptic, faint but unmistakable. Tho's skin prickled as they navigated the lobby, where overturned chairs and scattered papers lay frozen in time. A faded sign pointed to the maternity ward, its arrow warped by water damage. Vin, ever the cynic, scoffed at the silence. This place is just a ruin, no ghosts, no monsters, just neglect. But Lin's eyes darted to the shadows, her breath shallow. She clutched a small amulet, whispering prayers under her breath. Nam, silent, kept his hand near the holster he no longer carried. The maternity ward was on the 3rd floor, accessible only by a creaking staircase. As they climbed, the temperature dropped, the air growing heavy with a metallic temps. Tho's flashlight caught a glimpse of something on the wall, a smear of red, too fresh to be rust. She touched it, her fingers coming away sticky. Blood, she whispered, her voice steady despite the thud of her heart. Room 13 was sealed, its door boarded shut. Nam pried the planks loose, revealing a room untouched by time. The operating table gleamed under a layer of dust, its steel surface unnervingly clean. A tray of surgical tools, scalpels, forceps, a bone saw sat neatly arranged, as if awaiting a procedure. Patient files littered the floor, their pages yellowed but legible. Tho picked one up, her hands trembling as she read. Patient, unknown, procedure, cesarean outcome, infant deceased, body unrecovered. The same words from the email, repeated across dozens of files. Lin's voice broke the silence. Do you hear that? The group froze. A faint sound, like a child's cry, echoed from the walls, not outside, but within. It wasn't a wail of pain, but something colder, hungrier. Vin laughed nervously, but his flashlight shook. Nam's face hardened. We're not alone, he said. The surgeon's shadow. They searched the ward, finding more files, each detailing a stillbirth in room 13. The dates spanned decades: 1974, 1982, 1990, 1994. Always the same. No mother's name, no body recovered. Tho's mind raced, piecing together a pattern. "These aren't normal records," she said. "No hospital keeps files this vague. It's like they were hiding something." Nam found a locked cabinet in the corner. With a crowbar from his bag, he forced it open, revealing a leather-bound journal. The handwriting was as she recognized it instantly. The entries began in 1994, detailing his work at St. Marie before its closure. He wrote of a patient, a young woman brought in under secrecy, her pregnancy shrouded in rumors of scandal. The hospital's director, a French expatriate named Dr. Moreau, insisted on performing the cesarean himself. Assisted, but what he saw in room 13 haunted him. The infant, though stillborn, moved its tiny limbs, twitching as if alive. Moreau dismissed it as muscle spasms, but wasn't he convinced? The body was taken away, never logged. The journal's final entry, dated the night of S disappearance, was frantic. "It's not dead. It's in the walls, in the wards." Moreau knew. He fed it. "I can't leave it sees me." The crying grew louder, now unmistakably a chorus of voices, overlapping in a dissonant wail. Lynn clutched her amulet, her eyes wide. "It's not a ghost," she whispered. "It's something else, something that never left." Vin, pale but defiant, suggested they leave. But as they turned, the door to room 13 slammed shut. The lock clicked, though no one had touched it. Their flashlights flickered, plunging them into near darkness. From the shadows, a figure emerged, a silhouette in a white blouse, its movements jerky, unnatural. Its face was obscured, but its eyes gleamed, reflective like a cat's. It held a scalpel, its blade catching the dim light. Tho's training kicked in. She grabbed a rusted chair, holding it like a shield. "Stay calm," she hissed, though her voice wavered. The figure didn't advance it, watched, its head tilting at an impossible angle. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it vanished, leaving only the echo of its footsteps. The operating theater. The door wouldn't budge. Nam threw his weight against it, but it held fast. The crying intensified, now accompanied by a low hum, like machinery stirring to life. Lynn pointed to a vent in the wall. "It's grate loose." "There," she said. "It's coming from below." They pried the grate free, revealing a narrow shaft leading to the hospital's basement. Tho hesitated, her logic screamed to run, but S-journal burned in her mind. She had to know. One by one, they crawled through, emerging in a cavernous room that reeked of formaldehyde and decay. The operating theater. Unlike the ward above, this room was pristine. The tiles gleamed, the surgical lights buzzed faintly, and a massive steel table dominated the center. Scattered around it were more files, but these were different photographs clipped to medical reports, showing infants with deformities, elongated limbs, eyeless sockets, mouths stretched too wide. Tho's stomach churned. These weren't stillbirths, they were experiments. Vin found a projector in the corner, its reel still loaded. He turned it on, and the wall lit up with grainy footage. It showed room 13, decades ago, bustling with doctors. Moreau stood at the table, his face grim as he operated on a sedated woman. The camera lingered on the infant. He extracted its skin gray, its movements wrong. The footage cut to Moreau in a lab, injecting the child with a syringe filled with a glowing liquid. The child screamed, a sound that matched the cries they'd heard. The projector stopped, and the room plunged into darkness. The hum grew louder, now a rhythmic pulse. Nam's flashlight caught something in the corner, a mass of flesh, pulsating, its surface veined and slick. It wasn't human, but it had eyes, dozens of them, blinking in unison. The group froze as the mass shifted, revealing limbs, faces, fragments of what might have been children, fused into a single, writhing entity. "It's them," Lynn whispered. "The stillborns. They never left." The entity lunged, its movements impossibly fast. Nam shoved Vin out of the way, taking the brunt of the attack. His scream was cut short as the mass enveloped him, his body vanishing into its bulk. Tho grabbed Lynn's arm, dragging her toward a side door marked exit. Vin followed, his bravado gone, his face a mask of terror. They burst into a hallway, the entity's screams echoing behind them. The exit led not to freedom, but to another ward, this one lined with mirrors. Their reflections stared back, but something was wrong. Their eyes were too large, their mouths twisted. Tho realized with a jolt that the mirrors weren't reflecting them. They were showing the entity, wearing their faces. Lynn clutched her amulet, chanting louder, but the mirrors began to crack, the reflections stepping out. Tho's double moved first, its scalpel gleaming. She dodged, shoving a gurney into its path. Vin wasn't so lucky his double caught him, its blade slicing through his shoulder. He fell, blood pooling beneath him. Tho and Lin ran, the hospital shifting around them. Corridors looped impossibly, doors leading back to room 13. The crying was deafening now, a cacophony of pain and hunger. Tho's mind raced, piecing together the truth. Moreau hadn't just experimented, he'd created something, a parasite that fed on the unborn, binding their souls to the hospital. Had discovered it, and it had taken him. The entity wasn't just a monster, it was the hospital, alive, aware, and ravenous. They reached the lobby, the front door in sight, but as they ran, Lin tripped, her amulet skidding across the floor. Her double appeared, its face a mockery of her own. Tho hesitated, torn between saving Lin and escaping. Lin's eyes met hers, pleading. "Go," she whispered. "Tell them." Tho ran, the door slamming shut behind her. She stumbled into the fog, the hospital's silhouette fading into the mist. Her phone had no signal, but S journal was still in her bag, its pages a testament to the horror she'd survived. The unseen. Tho published the journal online, hoping to expose St. Marie's secrets. But within hours, the post was gone, her account banned. She tried again, uploading 2x, but the files vanished, replaced by a single message. "The ward sees you." She never returned to our Ellet, but the crying followed her, faint, persistent, echoing in her dreams. The hospital still stands, its doors locked, its windows dark. Locals say the fog is thicker now, the cries louder, and sometimes, in the dead of night, a figure in a white blouse is seen at the edge of the road, watching, waiting, its scalpel gleaming in the moonlight.